Tonight we report from the island in the sun and in the news. Until 4 years ago, Grenada was ruled by an elected but corrupt right-wing government. Then a bloodless left-wing coup put a Marxist revolutionary government into power. 3 weeks ago, everything changed again. The island's leaders fell out, the Prime Minister and 3 other ministers were shot. 2 weeks ago, the Americans invaded.
Grenada, we were told, was a friendly island paradise for tourism. Well, it wasn't. It was a Soviet-Cuban colony being readied as a major military bastion to export terror and undermine democracy. We got there just in time.
At the height of the invasion, there were 6,000 American troops on the island. They were supported by 300 from neighboring Caribbean countries, including Barbados and Jamaica. Grenada's Governor General, Sir Paul Spoon. It took American troops a day's hard fighting to rescue Sir Paul from his residence, where he'd been a virtual prisoner since the chaos of October the 19th. That was the day that Prime Minister Maurice Bishop was killed by rivals in the revolutionary government. The change came when Point Selene's airport, the focus of fierce resistance when the invasion took place, had been made secure. Where Cubans once worked, the United States is now in command. The ruins of a People's Revolutionary Army camp a few miles south of St. George's, where army and militia were trained with Cuban help. Not just the ruins of a camp, but also of a regime and an ill-fated alliance between revolutionary Grenada and revolutionary Cuba.
Our forces, despite greater than expected resistance, quickly gained control of the island's 2 airports, secured the campus where the American students were, and the Marxists and Cuban puppeteers were defeated.
There's little doubt that most Grenadians have warmly welcomed the arrival of the Americans.
And I have to say praise and thanks to the Almighty God that Mr. Reagan sent his people to save us. The Spirit of the living God that fell afresh upon us here in Grenada. Otherwise, it would have gone good story.
Right? Each and every one of us here was afraid of what would happen. Because as we learned, there were so many ammunitions and so many guns and bombs in this Grenada, we all would have been gone.
Well, what happened was very serious for us here. So we were so frightened that we don't know what to do and what to say. We couldn't go outside for some water. One night we leave to go down the pipe for some water, and 2 PRA with a gun, and they chase us up back. Go inside! What you doing outside? You don't hear us say to stay inside. It was very dangerous. And when I heard that the American come down, I raised my hand and I said, praise God. So we was very happy and proud of what went on.
We have had a great deal of difficulty finding anyone, any Grenadian, to condemn or criticize the action of the American and Caribbean forces landing here.
Most of the people seem to welcome the United States arrival. Is there any opposition at all?
No. Right now, there is no opposition.
As you would realize, the past is past. And what we should be concerned the most about is building up Grenada. I don't think many of you knew the old motto of Grenada, brighter out of darkness.
The Governor General, in fact, requested that assistance be brought to bear.
The survival of the Governor General, the Queen's representative in Grenada, has been vital to United States' hopes of establishing a stable political system.
The Governor General in Grenada, the Governor General of an independent state, is now seeking to put together a caretaker government of Grenadans to help him steer the country towards free elections.
We do not have a parliament. We do not have a group of people acceptable by the people to run the government, such as we've had when the Bishop regime was in power. So there is a vacuum. So the Governor General, who is acting on behalf of Her Majesty, must find ways and means of having a government. For me and the Grenadian people, the important thing is to get in our country back to the peaceful and orderly way in which we have always lived.
2 weeks and one invasion later. At Queen's Park Racecourse, St. George's, members of the People's Revolutionary Army, the PRA, and of the auxiliary militia are invited to register their names and to submit to questioning.
Currently on the island are a number of People's Revolutionary Army members. And we have a list published of who they are. We don't know all of them, but we have roadblocks set up on this road and on most of the other major roads here in St. George's. And as we see these people, or as we capture these people, or as they try to move through the roadblock, and we check their identification, we apprehend them, and then we turn them in to the civil authorities here in St. George's.
And this man is waiting to be turned into
That's
civil?
Correct, yes.
Long live Great Britain. God save the Queen.